I am Chayanika. I am a queer activist from Bombay. I am a lesbian woman. I taught in a college in Bombay for many years, and currently I have taken voluntary retirement and enjoying life. So I am part of various movements like the women's movement, democratic rights movements, and part of this collective which is Labia, a queer feminist LBT collective. We started Labia as Stri Sangam in 1995, and this group was basically meant for lesbian bisexual women to come together and talk about their lives and find social space with each other. In the early years, and around 87, we did a meeting which was called Looking for Rights of Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual People. And in that meeting, we had discussed what are the rights that we are asking for. Primarily, we looked at decriminalization, partnership rights, and anti-discrimination laws. So decriminalization has been something that has been there. Even prior to that, there was the ABVA petition, and so we've done a signature campaign asking for reading down of 377 right back in 95. Subsequently, when after the rights of lesbian, gay, bisexual people, then the next meeting that we had was looking at sexual assault laws. And I think this debate on whether the laws should be gender neutral or gender specific has been going on since then. So in 2001, while we were having that discussion, Alok, who was working with Lawyers Collective, came and told us that we filed against 377. And our initial reaction was, how did you do it without talking to the rest of the people? And I remind myself of it today because since then, Lawyers Collective, which was the lawyer, who were the lawyers for NAS Foundation at that time, they at that point said that it is our client confidentiality and so we cannot do it, which is fair enough. But since then, Lawyers Collective has been this force that has brought everybody together to speak about the issue. And I think from 2004 onwards, there have been regular meetings that have been had, and we've been part of each and every one of them, I think, and been there at every juncture when the case has reached some sort of a situation where we need to address issues, and a meeting is called, and we've always been there. And I think there has been a long journey from 2001 to now in which we've worked together and learned from each other. So yeah, 2009 was almost like one never thought that we'll get a judgment, although we knew that the judges were very nice. We knew that the arguments were going very well in court, but one did not expect the nature of the judgment. The judgment was just astounding, not only in terms of reading down 377, but also in terms of giving us tools to talk about minority rights, to talk about constitutional morality. I think these are very, very big gains that we had from the Delhi, the NAS judgment. Also, we realized after 2009 that the fact that 377 got read down, a lot of people started feeling more confident talking about their lives and talking about coming together, especially younger people, talking to parents, coming out, making campus groups. So it was a moment to realize that when there is no fear of criminalization, there is a sense of freedom. And so when 2013 happened, which again was kind of, you knew that the arguments were not going well in the sense that the judges were not responding to it in the way that we would like them to respond, and you were worried as to what would happen in this case. So I remember that we were standing in Azad Maidan with a banner which said no going back, and we thought it very carefully that if we win, then we say no going back, and if we lose, we say no going back. And I think that that kind of slogan worked from 2013 to now, because we don't find anybody going back. There can be no going back. There is only a way forward. It has become tougher since the Kaushal judgment. There is more fear in people, but at the same time, the spirit of wanting to go on continues to be there. And I think that that's very useful for many people. Particularly, I think that we look at the lives of trans people and the ways in which that discourse has come in. along with Nalsa in 2014, which again Lawyers Collective argued. But the richness of the discourse on gender and sexuality, which both these spaces brought, I think that we cannot undermine it, and it's very useful for the longer struggles that will continue to happen. So I would say that when the first time this issue came up that this case is going to be heard, it was a strange moment to find that all the media, actually the English media at least and even others, were almost arguing the case for us. So it is a totally different moment from 2001 to 2018, that you feel that everybody is kind of convinced and they are arguing on your behalf. One also knows that the privacy judgment has come in the meanwhile. One knows that the judges are there. It seems like a moment when the final push to 377 will be given. So it looks very hopeful, and it seems like this battle at least of decriminalizing certain kinds of sexual acts and in turn certain kinds of lives, this is going to be successful in this round. That's how it seems. But of course the battle doesn't end, because just by decriminalizing on paper, it does not mean that it will get decriminalized in real lives. We know that people who are on the streets are not really going to be able to use it. So the battle continues of implementing, but I do think that the law and articulation of law gives a sense of freedom, and it gives you a sense of belonging to this country, which is very valuable. So for me, from 2013, I think that this is a learning. What the period from 9 to 13 tells this, that not having that law actually liberates your minds in some ways, and it is a very nice feeling to be able to live like that.